Being faithful stewards has some unexpected benefits. By investing in employee safety, the Pacific Union Conference has been able to give back more money to our conferences, schools, and churches. Hello, I'm Connie Vandeman Jeffrey, and this is All God's People. It doesn't seem like a very exciting story until you really think about it. Every year, we look forward to seeing the savings we're able to realize in the Workers' Compensation Fund at the Union. All the California entities are included in this self-insured fund. And in 2018, we were able to return $1 million back to the California conferences, La Sierra University, Pacific Union College, and the Union to be used for employee safety. Schools have been able to install video monitoring systems or fire alarms. Gates have been fixed and sidewalks and parking lots repaired. Slip, trip, and fall claims and ergonomics claims are down, and savings are up as we continue to be proactive in putting employee safety concerns first. We're always happy to share good news from our ministries, and this last week, 2 of our volunteer ministry coordinators at the Pacific Union were honored at the North American Division Ministries Convention in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The theme was Stronger United, Many Voices, One Vision, and the event provided presentations and seminars on a variety of ministry topics. At the awards banquet on Tuesday night, Ron Piquel, who serves as Life Church of Berkeley pastor, chaplain of the Adventist Campus Ministry Group at UC Berkeley, and volunteer coordinator of the NAD Adventist Christian Fellowship, received an Excellence in Ministry Award. In addition, Pacific Union Stewardship Coordinator and Northern California Conference Community Services, Stewardship, and Health Director Gordon Bodding, who was not able to attend, received a Lifetime Achievement Award. Congratulations, Ron and Gordon. Religious Liberty Sabbath is Saturday, January 26. In our congregations in the Union and around the world, our members will be participating in the 2019 Religious Liberty Sabbath campaign, Protecting the Wall. No, not that wall. I'm talking about the wall of separation between church and state. Because of this constitutionally mandated separation, the government is restrained from interfering with the free practice and expression of religion. And the church focuses on our mission of sharing God's love with the world through the winsome power of influence rather than legislative force. We had the opportunity to speak with Alan Reinach this week about this topic. Alan is the Executive Director of the Church State Council, the religious liberty, educational, and advocacy arm of the Pacific Union Conference. I asked him why the separation of church and state is so important right now in our nation.
At this moment, the wall of separation between church and state has never been under greater attack and graver danger. And the danger is coming from the very segment of society that gave us the wall of separation in the first place. So a little history is important because the concept really came out of the persecution of the Anabaptists in Europe in the early days of the Reformation. They're getting drowned because of their doctrine of believers' baptism, something we Seventh-day Adventists share. And they understood that the state had no right or authority from God to judge whose doctrine of baptism was correct, and they understood the limited authority of the state in matters of religion. Well, when the Puritans came to America, they didn't share the Anabaptist belief. They wanted to establish America as a shining city on a hill in covenant relationship with God. But it was Baptists and Presbyterians and others, Methodists, who urged our founding fathers to create a nation where people of all faith have equal rights under the law and to have the separation of church and state. Now, we Seventh-day Adventists, we came along and stood on Baptist and other Protestant shoulders in believing in separation, but we added another dimension, which is a prophetic dimension, because our grasp of the third angel's message, the final message of warning and judgment to a world before the return of Christ, is about the fall of Babylon. The church gets too cozy with the state. And that's what leads to the imposition of the mark of the beast and the judgment of God poured out without mixture. So this whole notion of church and state coming together, which we're seeing in our nation today like we never have before, and the erosion and the attack on the wall of separation, this is terribly risky for our rights, for our Constitution, for our freedoms, for our religious freedom.
Thank you so much, Alan. Please pray for the work and ministry of religious liberty in our nation and the world. In Galatians 5:13, Paul reminds us that our freedoms provide us the opportunity to serve and love one another. The Message Bible expresses the verse like this: "It is absolutely clear that God has called you to a free life. Just make sure that you don't use this freedom as an excuse to do whatever you want to do and destroy your freedom. Rather, use your freedom to serve one another in love. That's how freedom grows." May God's love and freedom grow in your life this week. For all God's people, I'm Connie Jeffrey.